You wanted video game reviews, well you got it baby. Now is that time in the show where we bring you a video game review with a segment I like to call Video Game Review.
Every time.
I absolutely love the name. Video Game Review.
Review.
What did you name this video game review?
Video review? I mean, like, what else would
no.
you want it? Like,
I know what you're doing, but what did you name it?
Yeah.
Video game review.
Video game review. Yeah. Well, it was either that or it was let's talk about games.
Let's talk about you and me. Sorry. Whenever I hear that like segment, those three words together, I just can't help myself. Yeah. Sorry. It just happens every time. There's nothing I can do about it. I just can't do it.
Right.
So let me, do you want me to do them back to back or do you want to do them individually? We've got,
we could do them back to back. I'm cool with it.
Okay. I just have to figure that out. Since this show went squirrely, I can't depend on any of the buttons. Cause
whatever happens, happens.
Well, that's clearly not the way it's supposed to work. Oh, that's so funny. And it's funny too because everything was working great right up until the moment the show started, and then once the show started, it went super squirrely. I was like, "Oh, great, love this, absolutely love it." So, video game review. There we go.
Video game review. It's an oldie.
Review. I need to put this over there, and here we go.
Ooh. Yes.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV.
Ah, good. Here you are. It's done.
I love how stuff just pops up on the side of the screen.
It's awesome.
Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're
Rated H for honest. From Valve, the company that refuses to let anyone aim down the barrel, comes the franchise that taught generations of children you run faster with a knife.
Everyone runs faster with a knife.
You do.
Counter-Strike. Yep, Counter-Strike is still a thing. I know, I can't believe it either. Gear up for another round of the game that's barely changed since the 90s and return to a simpler time before shooters added gimmicks like perks, classes, kill streaks, vehicles, iron sights, going prone, leaning, sprinting, single player, good sound or good graphics. Dive into 1.6, the pure uncut cocaine of shooters. Condition 0, the one that sucks. Sewars, the actual best one. Or the global weapon unboxing simulator.
Throw it, Capon.
Experience the thrill of chess with guns that pits terrorists versus counter-terrorists in a test of speed, cunning, and deception. Where both sides fight for control over stacks of wooden boxes. And unlike those brainless Call of Duty bros, your success or failure depends on smart financial management. Oh yeah.
Do a barrel roll.
Kill-tacular. Sick value. Oh my god! So prudent. Feel the butthole-clenching rush of being the last man alive on your team. Then make pathetic twitchy movements and cycle your weapons so it looks like you know what you're doing. And feel the pressure of your dead squadmates' eyes as you get picked off, get distracted, and inevitably flashbang yourself. Stop judging me! Counter-Strike fans will tell you it's all about the gameplay, even though the franchise was pretty much dead until they let you decorate your weapon like a gun-shaped Barbie. Now, nothing in the actual game will match the excitement of buying a cosmetic change to an imaginary knife.
I think I just actually shit myself. This always happens!
But it's not just endless rounds of Dust 2 and Dress Up. CS offers a whole world of intricate custom maps and game modes like Surf, Gun Game, Zombie Escape, flying around after you die while trying not to touch anything, and thousands of other modes you'll play once before going back to Dust 2, like the conditioned lab rat you've become.
Yeah.
So after years of practice, tell yourself you're good enough to enter the big leagues of competitive Counter-Strike, where you'll be tested against aimbotting Norwegian teenagers who communicate telepathically and take your place among the legends of the game that refuses to die, where every victory is a true reflection of your skill, and every defeat is lag's fault.
Lag.
Right.
I lagged out.
Yep.
Starring silenced M16s, ISIS, and
Ball-licking motherfucker face.
U.S.
Stupid
Foreign
scout.
Policy Simulator. We all know the real best Counter-Strike is the bootleg Korean one. Am I right? Be sure to subscribe for more.
I've never
honest
seen
game
that
trailer.
bootleg Korean one. Have you?
Yeah,
have
I never
seen
have
that
either.
bootleg. I wanted it once I saw that. I was like, wait, I need the bootleg. I need the bootleg
I was
Korean
like,
one.
yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
It all started with Half-Life. Like
It did.
Half-Life was the engine with Valve that spawned like everything, really.
Yeah.
And Half-Life, I remember one of my friends getting it in maybe my freshman year or junior high, like somewhere around there.
Right.
And I was like, Dad, I need a computer because I want to play Half-Life. Like, I just have to.
Mhm.
And he's like, but you have a Nintendo.
Right.
And you have a PlayStation. And
Right.
you have a Sega.
Right.
And you have
Right.
Sega CD.
Right.
And you have
Right.
Dreamcast.
And it goes
And
on
you
and
have-
on and on. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I get
And
it.
I'm like, I don't
And?
care. I need Half-Life.
Must
And
have.
I did. And it took me forever, but I would come home from school. I would be like the kid with like, I would grab the carton of milk and a cereal box. And I would just sit in front of Half-Life and just play it. Like
That's
that was
insane.
me.
That's awesome.
I beat that
And
game
crazy.
probably 5 or 6 times.
Yeah,
But
we were
keep in
talking
mind,
about
like,
this. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a 30, 40-hour game. So
Yeah.
me investing all that time in it, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. I was going to say, I only ever got Half-Life to get the license key so that I could play Counter-Strike. Because when you went onto the
Right.
servers, it would verify that you actually owned a correct license key for Half-Life.
Yes.
And then you
yes.
could play Counter-Strike. Because the way
Right.
that this works is that Half-Life was the original game, and they allowed people to mod it. And Counter-Strike was a mod that they didn't even
Yes.
make Counter-Strike. Like, this wasn't
Right.
like, it wasn't even like the company that made the original game was like, oh yeah, this is an awesome supplement to our game. They were like, at first they didn't actually like Counter-Strike. They didn't,
No,
that wasn't their
not at all.
entity. They didn't make it. They weren't happy about it. But then because it became so huge, they were just like, well, it's our
Right.
game. Why don't we just put that out as a game? So then they did. They brought out Counter-Strike as its own independent game.
Right.
And it
I
had,
loved Counter-Strike. Oh
me
my
too.
God.
And it was funny in that last shot of the video, the guy had a scout. For
Yes.
anybody that has never played Counter-Strike, there are 2 sniper weapons, basically.
Yep.
I think there's actually more than 2. Like, you could use other weapons to snipe with, but the 2 main sniping
I'm sure
weapons,
now there's a bunch and stuff. I know they still keep it up because some of the new maps look very modern, like very modern. But if you play Dust 2, you still get the old nostalgia, like 56K looking
dial-up
game. Yeah.
Well,
and
the thing
Dust 2,
yes,
it was the only map that I really liked. I mean, I would play all the other ones, but honestly, I would go back. There was like a Western one, but Dust, that was just there
There's
were
a few
so many
maps
spots.
that I liked. Yes.
Yeah, there were so many spots in Dust 2 where you can like just kind of camp and just shoot everybody that runs across. And
no, I totally get it. I was a big fan. There's another map that became really popular, and it's basically you're on one side, they're on the other side, and there's a bridge that goes over the middle. And was it in
snow?
No, this one's, I've played the snow one as well. This one's actually in the desert, and it's got boxes on either side, and you can just stand there and snipe all day. You just stand there and snipe.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Yep.
Now, what I found interesting is CSGO. Did you ever play any CSGO?
I don't know if I did or not, because at that point, when I was really big into Counter-Strike, I would go to, remember like computer, like gaming lounges? Where it would just be a bunch of computers. Cyber cafes. I would go there, and we would just
it makes
play
perfect sense, because LAN parties were the way to play, because there was like dial-up speed you couldn't play. Like I worked at a company and we had a decent internet, so everybody used to play, and we used to play on our own servers in-house. So it was just like it was basically a glorified LAN party. But you need bandwidth like you have today in order to play a game like that, because if you have a low ping, you could kill everybody.
Right.
Like, if your ping was anything above 100, you might as well just shoot yourself. Just like, hey, the game started. Game's over. Because you would do exactly what the guy said. You would lag out. Yeah, I used to tell people the reason I don't play video games today is because of Half-Life. And they'd be like, oh, why? Did it leave a scarring impression on you? I'm like, no, it's because it literally took half of my life away from me. I literally would spend half of my life playing Half-Life. And it wasn't actually Half-Life. I was playing Counter-Strike, for heaven's sake. That was the even funnier part. It's like you're playing a different variation of a game, and I've never actually gone all the way through Half-Life. We were talking about this. I tried to get through, and I got stuck, and I got mad, and I just was like, I'm out. Like, I spent an hour and a half doing something one time, came back, spent another hour, came back another time for a half hour, and then I'm like, I'm done. I'm not spending any more time because I'm so angry. I was so mad. But yeah, Half-Life's an awesome game. Counter-Strike they're both nostalgic though. Like, these are ancient games. In fact, I was just watching 100%. A YouTube video of a guy that picked up the orange box. The orange box, for anybody that doesn't know, is Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, but it's Counter-Strike 2, you said, right? It's not, Half-Life 2.
It's Half-Life 2.
Half-Life 2, Counter-Strike, and Team Fortress. Is that correct?
And Portal might be on that as well.
Yeah, Portal might be on there as well. Guess how much they're reselling the orange box for? I was blown away.
$100? $200?
It's in the $80 to $90 range currently. But to me, it's like that game it's not worth that. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, I understand why people I paid like $20, I think, for it when I got it again.
Right.
Because basically, I needed a license key, and I had to stop playing. Because I'm old.
I mean, I get it. I went on to Xbox because I'm like, Valve, Xbox serves Steam. Like, there should be a way for me to play Half-Life. Even if it's 2, I will play it. And it's there, but you can't purchase it. Right. So they support the orange box.
Right. Like, I bought it on Steam. I bought it on Steam a while ago. And then, but I know exactly what you're talking about.